Now we only have the order ID, the customer hashtag. Maybe I should just change this to order ID. Okay, order ID, and then the customer ID. So right now we have the customer ID right here, and then we have the customer ID column right here too. So right now I'm trying to bring the records we have on this table. Some of the records we have on this table, I'm trying to bring them here so that when we get customer ID 10127, we can pen that order to a name. So I want to return this full name, because in our previous lesson we used concat to concatenate this column right here, and this together makes this column right here. So I just want to return this first name so that we can have that in one column instead of having to bring that one by one. Alright, so in my orders I'm just going to create full name right here. I'm just going to create full name, and then I'm going to use VLOOKUP to get the value from this column, from this sheet, matching with this customer ID. So I'm going to take that again. So right now these two worksheets, customer and orders, they have something in common, and that's this customer ID. So I'm going to match these two sheets together on their customer ID so that I can fetch any other data that I want to fetch. So it's just one match I need to do, and I can fetch individual column. I can fetch their first name, last name, gender, city, country, and full name just by matching the customer ID here to the customer ID here. So I'm going to use VLOOKUP for that, because so VLOOKUP value, or what column do they have in common? So they have this column right here in common. So I'm just going to click this value right here, and I'm going to click comma. Then the next one is saying table array. Where do you want me to go and look for this value? I'm going to say I need you to come to customer, and I need you to look from A to G. Alright, and then just gonna put a comma right there. So what column do you want me to return? That's the column index number. What column do you want me to return? So this is column G. I want it to return column G, but I can't just put G there. So I need to put G, I need to represent G in its numerical form. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, F is 6, G is 7. So I'm going to return 7 there, and then comma. What do you want me to return? Do you want me to return the approximate match or the exact match? So I want it to return the exact match. So I'm just going to click that, and I'm going to close that and hit enter. So when I hit enter, right now I have Lindsay Fagin right there as my 10127. So let's go find 10127 in the other worksheet. So if I come down to customer again and I scroll down to 10127, you see I have Lindsay Fagin, which is this column right here. So now I'm going to autofill that. I'm going to
please don't autofill it.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Let's do the second cell. Let's do it the way we do the first service before we autofill.
Alright, so I'm going to do that again. Equal to VLOOKUP again. So right now I'm in my orders worksheet, so I'm doing VLOOKUP.
Okay.
So what value am I looking up? I'm looking up 10041. So I'm clicking this column ID,
Yes.
comma. Where do I want Excel to look for this number? I want it to look for it in my customer worksheet. So I'm going to click customer, and I'm going to highlight the range of value from A. I'm going to hold shift and then click G. So that way Excel is going to pick all the records from A
columns
to G.
Alright. Okay.
So I could just go back now and then continue, but then my value, my my formula is just right here at the top here, so I can just continue editing for them. It's because if I go back, I might just mistakenly pick another value, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to continue from the top right here.
From laptop back.
Exactly. Okay. So now I'm still in my customer worksheet. So the next question is asking, so I'm separating all those parameters by a comma. So the next one is asking me what column do I want it to return. So if I do, now this is what happens with Excel. Excel is saying if I do find this 10041, what column do you want me? Because Excel knows that 10041 is going to be a vertical. What we are doing right now is vertical lookup, because V is vertical lookup, is V stands for vertical, so we are doing vertical lookup. And the same way we have horizontal lookup. So right now Excel is saying if I find 10041, what corresponding column do you want me to look for? So I want you to return column G, but then I can't just put G right here. I need to represent G in its numeric form. And how do I know the numeric form of G? A numeric representation is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, F is 6, G is 7. So if I want it to return once it finds 10041, if I want it to return column G, I have to just put 7 right here. Alright, okay. And then I put a comma again, and then it goes to the next option, the range lookup. So what option do I want it to return? Right now I'm working with numbers, so I do not want an approximate match. I want an exact match of that number. So I'm just going to click false, and then click this, and then I close this, or I just hit enter. So it takes me back to my order sheet. I have an error right there. So this should be false.
No, you've deleted the 7 now. 7. Yeah. There's no comma.
So you can see now.
Yes. You can see. VLOOKUP.
So I'm just going to autofill this, and then I'm going to fill this down. So if I do go back and check these records, they are going to match with this. However, if I'm still having doubting minds to accepting that the values are correct, so let's say we want to actually return this column ID. So let's say we want to return that column ID and want to see if this column ID for orders matches with the customer ID column. So let's say I'm going to say something like customer ID, and this time this is from the customer table. Alright, so I want us to distinguish between that. So now I'm just going to paint formats and format this cell right here. So I'm just going to hide these cells for now so that we can see what we are working on. Just gonna hide this cell. Just right click. I'm gonna highlight, right click, and then click on hide so that we can, you know, see what's going on in between. So equal to VLOOKUP. This column, I'm looking for this column right here, or this value in my customer. So I'm gonna highlight A to G. Then I'm gonna come here and click comma. What column do I want to return? So right now I want to return this first A column, still in my customer sheet. So I'm gonna say 1, comma. What do I want it to return? False exact match. And then I'm going to close this.
Close brackets.
So you see now 101.27 is equal. So if I flash fill that, you can see now everything looks the same. It matches.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I can just unhide my cell now. Unhide my cell, and that's it.